What's up, guys? We're back. It has been a long time, and I know personally I needed this time. It was a stressful into the season. Um, the break was much needed, and I'm excited to be back. The 2021 season has officially kicked off, and we have a lot of stuff we're going to get into. Today is going to be mainly free agents, and we'll go from there. So I'm back with my co-host, Randy.
What's up, guys? Yep, we're going to be talking about just some of the free agency signings and the moves, and we'll go through each one and we'll talk about how we feel about them and kind of what our vision is and how I think what they're doing now is setting them up for the draft.
So first, I want to kind of get out there what I'm wearing. I am a Notre Dame fan, so I am wearing my Notre Dame jersey. This was actually, I think Jalen Smith. No. Jalen Smith was 9. It's number 8 jersey, so it's the Shamrock series. But I wanted to wear it in honor of our newly acquired wide receiver, Will Fuller.
Yeah, let's talk about Will Fuller first, for sure. He was just signed. He's the most recent signing as of us recording this. We're recording this on a Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m., so if anything else breaks after this, it probably won't be in this video, but we'll make another video after that. So, yeah, Will Fuller, you're the Notre Dame guy. What do you think about this?
So I remember watching Fuller at Notre Dame, and there's very few players at Notre Dame that I was like, oh, they're going to be NFL caliber players, at least the skill positions, like they produce good offensive linemen, but at the skill positions, it's Chase Claypool was one of them. I loved watching Chase Claypool. Golden Tate was another, and Will Fuller. Will Fuller was definitely my top 3, like, most favorite players to watch at Notre Dame. Especially, you see his speed in the NFL. Imagine that in college. I mean, he had a little bit of the drops in college. Go ahead. What's the question?
I had a couple, a couple of things to bring up. Are you aware of the contract details at all? I know a little bit, but I don't know the number.
I don't know if the details have officially dropped, but it's around $10 million for 1 year.
I think that's good.
Aguilar's getting 13. Yeah, and I'm taking Will Fuller over healthy, non-suspended Will Fuller over Nelson Aguilar.
I actually think that Will Fuller would be better with the Dolphins than he would on Houston, just because we have other receivers. Like, you can say that receivers a huge need, but the presence of Preston Williams and Devontae Parker would let Will Fuller space the field. I'm so excited for him to be that deep threat and that spacer that we don't have. Now you can go into the draft and, like, you can get whatever receiver you want. You don't have to get a certain type of player. You just get
in my personal opinion, there was the Kenny Galladay's, Nelson Aguilar. If you're the Pats, Kendrick Bourne. There's a lot of guys that were on the market. And if I had to list my top 3 that I could have before free agency started, in order, it probably would have been Juju. I think he would have fit well. Curtis Samuel and Will Fuller. Will Fuller would have been up there in my top 3. I almost forgot that he was even available because there was just no talk about Will Fuller. And then we signed him, and I was like, oh, snap, Will Fuller.
Yeah, I think his price was a little bit lower because of the injury and because of the PED problems. But he's going to have a good year, and I'm sure he'll hit the free agent market again. And if he gets a huge contract from us or from someone else, good for him.
The last thing we can't forget is he won't be playing week 1. As far as I know, that has been held. It hasn't been uplifted or anything. He will be suspended for the first week. So that'll be a little but you want to see Will Fuller out there. But
you want to see him, but at the same time, it's not like we have no receivers. We just didn't have a space or a deep threat, which we now have.
Yeah. So and worst case, we have insurance if injuries do start to plague us again.
Right.
Anything else on Will Fuller?
No, I think we've got a bunch of other guys to get into. So
I wonder what number he's gonna wear, because I think Bowden deserves 15. Personally,
I mean, Albert Wilson was here first. He had 15.
No, but Albert Wilson. I mean, all due respect,
he sat out.
I think Bowden earned that 15, and not a big deal, but just curious.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the jerseys go.
All right, so the next guy I want to talk about is Jacoby Brissette. Now, Jacoby Brissette, I believe, I don't have the stats in front of me, has a 38-14, 11 touch, something like that.
It's that good? I didn't think it was that good.
Yeah, I think here I'm gonna look it up, but I think it's 38-14 touchdown interception ratio.
I love the details of his contract. We're not paying him much at all.
31-13.
30. That's so good. We're not paying him much at all to be a backup to Tua, and I'm confident that if something happened to Tua, Jacoby Brissette could step into this team the way it's built and probably win you some games.
Yeah.
So that's a great backup. He'd probably be my top choice for backup.
I think,
honestly.
yeah, and I officially have a second favorite team in the NFL now.
Okay,
Um,
let's hear it.
it is the Washington football team. If the
Ah,
Dolphins do not win the Super Bowl, I'm rooting for Fitzpatrick. I'm rooting.
me too.
They're rebuilding that organization. They just signed, they have Curtis Samuel, right?
Yeah,
They
Curtis
got
Samuel
Samuel and
fits. Good team,
McLaurin.
great
Yeah.
defense. McLaurin.
Yeah.
That should be a good team.
I'm sure they'll win that division. Hopefully
Positive.
Fitz has a great year, stays healthy, and thanks for everything, Fitz. I know you watch our videos.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say thank you.
He's
So,
watching right now, and we're really appreciative of what you do for the Dolphins
yeah.
organization.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm very happy with the Jacoby Brissette signing. A lot of trolls on Twitter will come up with the Miami got their QB1 at Trash Talk Pats, and
Yeah.
we'll just ignore that. We'll just ignore that.
Moving on.
So, all right, moving on. Our other most recent signing, I might butcher his name, center Matt Skura.
Skura is how I would say it. I've never
Skura.
heard it pronounced, but I'm going to say Skura. I am not excited about this one. I think the most exciting thing about this signing for me is that it means that we get to draft a center. Hopefully, it means we're drafting a center early. I would not roll Matt Skura out there to be the starting center. I don't know if Andrew, or any of the people watching this know, but he is not very good at snapping the ball, which is really bad for a center. He wasn't even the starting center for the Ravens at all last year. They were rotating him in and out. They used him as a swing tackle. I think he's a fringe starter. I think he's a downgrade from Ted Karras, so that means that we have to get someone.
I know that as far as his blocking goes, he's pretty profound. He's a pretty good blocker. I think last season he did have a bad year. I think before that, I'm pretty sure he's been the Ravens starting center for a while.
Maybe,
But there was never any bad rumors about him until
he had
those
issues
snaps last year.
Yeah, he had issues last year. I'm just hoping that this opens the door to sign a center early and let them battle it out in camp. Let Skura go to battle with Creed Humphrey or someone like that, and that's where I see that signing. I'm glad they signed a center, but it's not like they signed David Andrews. They're not signing a long-term guy. This is an immediate draft.
And on the David Andrews topic, if his market is set at 10 to 12 million a year, I'm happy with getting this guy and getting a rookie. I would rather do that than pay David Andrews 30 or 10, 12 million a year.
I'd rather pay Will Fuller 10 million than David Andrews. So
exactly. All right, so moving on. Another signing we had, I'm probably going to butcher his name too because I've never heard of him till we signed him. Sethan Carter.
Yeah, I think it's
Sethan Carter.
Sethan Carter, I think.
Sethan Carter. I believe he's a fullback tight end kind of hybrid from the Bengals.
He's a special teams, mostly going to be a special teams player. I don't think he's going to get a lot of offensive action. I'm okay with special team signings. People freak out that this isn't whatever. We need special teams players. We gave up special teams touchdowns. We win the Chiefs game if we don't give up a punt return touchdown. This guy plays on the punt return unit. Anyone that's going to make that unit better, I can't complain about. He's got a role. He's got a purpose. And
I agree. I agree. I think this offseason has been definitely the slowest in a long time as far as not the big name signings. But I mean, you got to look at the holes we have and what we need filled. A lot of those big money guys are going to want these big contracts, and they're going to expire, and they're old and they're aging. And I just don't think that would have been the best idea to overpay for some of these guys. And I'm glad we waited till day 3 or 4?
Yeah, day 4.
Until the market kind of settled down, because it was, I mean, look at what Aguilar and even Kendrick Bourne, $23 million for Kendrick Bourne.
I can't even tell. Did he play for the 49ers? That's my guess.
He played for the Niners. He's not a bad receiver, but he's not 23 million. I mean, Albert Wilson is probably a better receiver than Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might take Jakeem Grant over Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, he's a solid number 3, maybe some number 4, and he's getting 23 million over 3 years.
Yeah. So something else I would say is I wouldn't want to sign anyone in this market to a long-term contract right now with the way the salary cap is. So I like the way that we've been doing smaller, shorter contracts for less money. We need depth. Look at the way they're going to build this team. This, like you said, this team is meant to be built young through the draft. We don't need to sign a bunch of flashy free agents. We have at least 7 draft picks, and early ones at that, in this upcoming draft. So we don't need to go crazy, and I'm happy we're not. I'm not freaking out about not spending.
Yeah, I think the Will Fuller signing cooled a lot of people down.
Yeah,
think so. Moving on, the next guy is a pretty interesting name just because of how what happened with it. It was almost like a swap. So we signed Adam Butler, and of course we know Devon Godchow went over to New England. So it's almost like we swapped players. Now, my opinion on this is, let's be honest. Devon Godchow was going to be our third defensive tackle on the depth chart. I mean,
yeah, or fourth behind.
Maybe even fourth behind Zach Sealer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, how much did the Pats pay Godchow?
$9 million a year. Not $9 million total. $9 million per year.
Yeah, and we got Butler for like what, 5 or 6? 6.
It doesn't even matter. Butler is the better player. There's no question. Adam Butler is the better.
He's
player.
a better pass rusher, but for what being a fourth defensive tackle, I'm not willing to pay someone, even a third. I'm not willing to pay him $9-10 million a year. And this isn't even my money I'm talking about, and I know that's an overpay.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it. And like Pats think they got this amazing player in Davin Godchaux. I don't ever feel like he was above average, if at best. Average was the most I ever saw him get to.
I think he has 2 career sacks.
And Adam Butler in like half the snaps has like double the amount of sacks.
5 or 6 last season, or maybe. Yeah, I'm happy with that. You know, I'm gonna miss Godchow, but he also coming off of a torn bicep. I don't see how he.
I don't know how that. Yeah, I don't know how he got that money.
I don't either. And I, no disrespect to him, you know, he was a great player. He was very loyal. Seemed like he really enjoyed playing for Miami.
He was a good locker room guy too.
Yeah, best of luck to him. But
in reality, for the Dolphins, think about it. Raekwon Davis emerged. I think Raekwon Davis and Christian Wilkin are your 2 top defensive tackles, and they're going to get the majority of the playing time. Anything else is just going to be Zach Sealer and Adam Butler coming in for like rundowns or stuff like that. So
yeah, I think we'll see Adam Butler a lot on third downs.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We signed wide receiver Robert Foster.
Crickets. I couldn't tell you. I've never heard of him until we signed him.
I've heard of him. I believe he played for Buffalo, right?
He did. He played for Buffalo.
I did hear. I think he scored a touchdown on us week 17, I believe.
Yeah,
I've heard of him, and I guess he played at Bama with Tua, and I think he had like 8 catches from Tua at Bama his senior year. 8 catches.
This is a special team signing. I don't know.
In a way, but I mean,
the receiver room's crowded. I don't know if he makes the roster. Like, I really don't know.
I agree, but look, you got to think about it this way. If worse comes to worse and 3 of our top receivers get hurt, I'm going to be more confident probably throwing Robert Foster out there than I am as a number 2 than I am as a Jakeem Grant or Mac Hollins. I mean, as far as depth, you're right. He might not make the team unless it's for special teams.
This is probably the Mac Hollins replacement. So I was a fan of Mac Hollins on special teams, not so much as a receiver, but on special teams I was a fan. This is probably the Mac Hollins replacement. My thing is, like, think of the money. He's getting a $1 million contract versus like Allen Hurns, Wilson, and Jakeem are all have like multi-million dollars. They're in the neighborhood of like 3 to 4. So
wait, who's getting $1 million?
Robert Foster has like $1 million contract.
Oh, that's it?
It's like literally $1 million, which is good. But the other guys are like $3 to $4 million like contracts each. I don't know what the consequences of cutting them would be. I'm just saying, think about like there's the money aspect plus the special teams aspect. I don't know if Allen Hurns or Albert Wilson can even play special teams. So we'll see. That's the receiver room. We need to wait until the draft to like really get an idea of what the receiver room.
After signing Will Fuller, got me excited for the draft. Just picturing everything.
I'm still going receiver with the first pick though. Like, no question, I'm going receiver with them. Or Penei Sewell if they think that that's the right player. Those are my 2 thoughts. Yeah. We'll talk about that later. All right.
Yeah. All right. Next we're gonna talk about Benardrick McKinney.
Okay.
Did you say it? Benardrick.
Yeah, Benardrick.
Yeah. I think that was a great trade. I love Shaq Lawson as a locker room guy. Production was okay, I'd say. I think that's a fair valuation.
That's fair.
His production was okay. McKinney made the Pro Bowl in 2018. He is a 3-down middle linebacker, run stuffing, a little bit of pass coverage. He's better pass coverage than Raekwon McMillan and Roberts, but he's nothing like an elite pass coverage linebacker. But I definitely think the value for what we got from McKinney is better than Shaq Lawson at that time.
Yeah, my thoughts on that is I think Benardrick McKinney is a better player at his position than Shaq Lawson is a better player at his position. So, like, overall, we win. The contracts are a wash. That's a great player. I'm so excited that they got him. I'm not going to miss Shaq Lawson. I think you could draft someone that's as good as Shaq Lawson literally in this draft.
Yeah, he was a locker room guy too, you know.
Yeah, I know. But I think McKinney will be as well, and he'll be excited to be there. So that'll be really cool.
All right, next we're going to talk about running back Malcolm Brown from the Rams, averaged over 4 yards a carry. I mean, I guess I don't see the purpose in the signing. He seems like a good guy.
You needed to sign someone.
Like he, you know, his video for the Dolphins Twitter was good. He was smiling. Seems like a nice guy. Yeah. Excited to be working with us. I mean, I guess if Ahmed or Gaskin get hurt, you're going to need that backup.
Yeah, so the thing with Malcolm Brown is they're only paying him like $1 million. That's what I would want to pay a running back. If you're not going to get someone who can actually come in and play, this signing made me excited, just like the Matt Skura signing made me excited. This means we get to draft someone. I'm very concerned, quick draft talk, about Najee Harris even making it to the 18th overall pick.
Especially after that Cardinals trade. And they have 17.
So the Cardinals have 17. They're ahead. The Cardinals are ahead of us, and Kenyon Drake is playing for the Raiders now. So the Cardinals need a running back. I would trade in front of them. I don't care. I would trade in front of them for Najee. Yeah. I'm not trying to leave that draft without a running back. Whatever.
If it's not Najee, I need Javonte Williams.
Yeah, or ETN. I don't care.
In the second round, or ETN.
Whatever. Just so we can't go like last year where we waited on it and we missed because that was not good. We're still dealing with that now. So
yeah, I feel like that was the plan though. I always to me it's always like you don't draft a running back till you're ready to win because a running back's not going to carry you to a championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah,
it's just not gonna.
So like for Malcolm Brown, to closing thoughts on that, he's an okay player at a great price. So a $1 million contract for an okay player. If he doesn't make the roster, I won't cry. He's probably pushing Patrick Laird. It's him and Patrick Laird are battling for the last running back spot, and that's it.
Yeah. I agree. Moving on, Mike Pilardi,
the punter.
I'm not gonna miss Matt Hawk.
Me neither.
He didn't seem to do very well last year. I don't think he just can't punt the ball very far.
So something that I'm gonna miss with Hawk that I hope that Pilardi can do. Hawk had an arm. Like he could actually execute fakes really well.
Trick plays worked.
Yeah, the trick plays were great, except for the part where we don't report eligible. Other than that, the trick plays were fantastic. So I'm gonna miss that. I felt I'll never forget Hawk's throw to Kamu Grugier-Hill, who didn't report eligible, but that was a great.
Who's the best coverage line? One of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL.
Who's it? Tom Pelissero said that or whatever. I'm like, I think they're sadly mistaken.
I read that and I was like, really?
One of the best.
We must have missed something. We must have missed something.
On defense much, and I never saw him cover anyone for that matter.
No,
so
we must have missed something. All right.
Okay.
And then we have our, contrary Deshaun Watson lover, defensive pass rusher Vince Beagle. We re-signed him, who I think is a good player. I just wish he wouldn't have gotten in that advocated for Deshaun Watson.
You don't want to see them doing that. You don't want to see a player do that. Just any.
I don't know. I don't think there was any harm behind it. The dude probably hasn't even met Tua because he wasn't in the locker room.
Yeah, probably
he didn't play last year. So, and he's on defense. It's not like he's a receiver doing that.
Yeah,
if he's on defense. Tua will probably say a few sentences to him throughout the season. I mean,
yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. He spent his whole year rehabbing. I think Vince Beagle was okay. I'm excited to see where he's at after the injury to see if he's good.
Yeah.
He's signed for less than $1 million. He might not make the roster. I'm letting everyone know all these signings might not make the roster. Like not all of them, but there are some guys on here that might not make the roster.
I think Beagle should because he did come out in 2019. He had a decent. The trash can of a season it was. He played well.
I was about to say he looked okay on a really bad team. Let's see.
Same thing with Nick Needham. Nick Needham looked okay on that defense too, and then
when they looked okay, let's see where they look compared to now. You have ABG and you have Justin Coleman, who we'll get to.
Yeah, yep. So that's actually who we're on now. Justin Coleman.
Yeah.
What is he? A nickel corner.
Yeah.
Played for the Colts.
He's on another million. Yeah. Who did he play for? He played for the Seahawks for sure. Like
The Lions.
the Lions and the
Yeah.
Seahawks. He's definitely played for the Lions and the Seahawks, and he was actually pretty good on the Seahawks as a nickel corner. The Lions, he had a bad year, but he's on
he'll
a
be
small
pushing.
contract.
He'll be pushing Noah Benogany, and I
And
don't think we've re-signed Nick Needham yet. I'm sure we will.
we have.
Honestly,
I think we
yeah,
exercised his like
I
tender or something.
feel like I might have read we did. So he'll be pushing them as far as that nickel corner depth piece. And then the last transaction we're going to talk about is cutting Kyle Van Noy. And of course him signing with New England.
I hate that. That's the part I don't like.
Yeah, I liked KVN. He wasn't worth. What was he getting?
He wasn't worth what he was being paid, but he was kind of productive. I'm a little disappointed at like some of the missed opportunities, like the missed pick and like stuff like that. There was
he got stiff armed by Josh Allen.
Oh god, that was like probably that was not good. But he was okay, and he's a really good locker room guy. Like we're gonna miss having people telling other people where to line up, but I honestly think players like Andrew Van Ginkel and stuff can kind of step into that role.
I think Andrew Van Ginkel is going to be my breakout player this year. I've always said that. I'll always vouch for Andrew Van Ginkel, and he's a playmaker. He's a ball player.
He's as good. It's controversial, but he's kind of as good as Van Noy. He's maybe better, honestly.
And I think we'll draft a pass rusher early. Hopefully not early because we never seem to hit on those. Maybe we should go sign someone from the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, we could hit on that.
Might be our best bet.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're all out of our free agent transactions. Relatively short video. We just wanted to get back out there. We're going to be dropping our mock draft 1.0. I know we've been saying that, but we are actually going to be dropping our mock draft 1.0. Especially now. I didn't want to drop it too early. Now it's like, we have our backup quarterback. We have McKinney, who maybe might make us draft that early linebacker. We also have Will Fuller, who might play a little bit of role of how many receivers we draft.
Or what type of receiver we draft.
Yeah, so we have a better idea as far as what we're going to be doing. So any closing remarks?
No, that's it for me. Just remember to like, comment, subscribe. We're going to try to do more videos. The quiet season and the off season and stuff is kind of going on. Now that free agency started, it's ramping back up, but just expect us to post videos when things are happening. So when there's signings, we'll try to post something. When there's training camps or mini camp, there's going to be like the draft, rookie mini camp. Expect videos closer to those times when things are active.
And we're going to try and make it out to, all those training camps, OTAs stuff, anything if they have fans, me, Randy, and our other friend Ryan, who's been on here, we're going to try and make it out there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys, I'll catch you on Twitter. Peace out.
All right.